more options, and immediately, actually, it's already there.
I mean, in game number 1, we saw BLG bullying Sayo. And now in the bans for game number 2, we already see them bullying Sayo. That Draven taken off the board, we mentioned it in the previous one. Sayo responsible for all but 1 Draven bans in the LLA this year. But the Xayah, what he played in game number 1, taken off the board as well. But the Nautilus, taken away by R7, so no more mid lane shenanigans there.
Yeah, we have to see exactly what the answer's going to be. Yagao is more than happy to go back towards some of his tried and tested picks, like the Veigar is obviously a big one for him. It's more about him being a facilitator for the rest of the team, and when you've had such, I'm going to just say maniacs on the side lane, I'm not surprised that he kind of tends to go back towards your more kind of calmer mid laners here. But Lucian going to be banned away as well, so a lot of a focus on towards the bot lane and trying to make sure the Sayon Lions have an easier time.
Well, we talked about the Nidalee for Shun. He doesn't need a Nautilus in the mid lane to play this. It's a classic. It's a signature for Shun. Instant first pick on the blue side. We'll see what R7 are going to lock in to try and shut that down, because this is going to be all about winning lanes now.
Yeah, especially if you could manage to get the push for BLG in a lot of these lanes, that's where you're going to have the issue, because Shun can look for invades, especially with Yagao going to support him. We saw him a lot when he plays things like the Kindred. This is the kind of style that they go for. And even something like a Jace as well that you can try and go for. Flex between bin, even if you want to, and just make sure you're guaranteed push in one of the side lanes, and you can then look to invade off that, or look for a Renekton and go for the dives instead.
Well, the Rakan going to be locked in for R7. A little surprised to see the Rakan prioritize so heavily, especially with Xayah already taken off the table, but Oddie goes for an elite. A bit of aggression there, and I like to see that. We've got 2 of those, kind of the most aggressive AP junglers available. I can see the Renekton keeps on getting cycled over. I feel like that's a classic with both of these junglers.
I was going to say, I'm a bit nervous about the Kennen as well. Massive, massive pick in the LPL all throughout playoffs. Wouldn't be surprised to see it taken, although would lead your top side probably pretty AP heavy, but there you go. It is going to be the Renekton, and I think Bong is going to be feeling a little bit of pressure this game.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, BLG going full on vintage LPL there with the Renekton Nidalee. I feel like this is a classic. And then why not scaling bot lane, something that you can just take over the game later on.
And it's a very similar game to what, or at least composition to what we saw from G2 yesterday, right? They were like, hey, we're going to go with Nidalee, we'll take the Jinx, we'll have a ton of long range. We have a top laner that traditionally kind of sucks when you get to the later portion of the game, and kind of isn't great unless you can find flanks. But if the enemy team has to play into you because you've got this range, it can work out incredibly well. K'Sante now going to come through for Bong, hoping that he can time some of that invulnerability or the unstoppable in that top side to make sure he can deal with the CC this Renekton's going to offer.
That's what you got to hope for. Bong kind of feeling the wrath of the K'Sante in game number 1, now locking it in for himself for game number 2. So we'll see how he fares in the top side, managing to do well on that Ola, finding himself that solo kill over Bin as well in the top lane. Thresh banned away. It's a classic combination alongside the Jinx. I'm curious if they'll ban something like a Tahm Kench as well, try and really deny any safety in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably your best bet. I'm curious to see what Oddie's game plan is, because obviously we heard the desk talk about it, we've mentioned as well. Bong doesn't get a lot of resources, so do they try to counteract the plays in top side and match Shun when he goes up there? Or are you going to look to try and play around that bot side and cross-map it instead? And at least with that Tahm Kench ban as well, and a lot of that safeties you're talking about once being removed, it feels like the game plan for Oddie is, I'm going to double down on bot lane and see if we can try and find the success we need for Sayo there.
And that kind of feels like the classic for R7. From what I've seen in their vaults and from what I've heard, like, they love to play through Sayo, they love to play on the bot. I mean, the fact that we're talking about Draven bans tells you that this is a team that wants to play through a carry in the bottom side. Ezreal could be a lock-in that we've started to see potentially some changes coming in. Could be a strong champion to lock in, but we'll see where R7 do decide to go alongside a Rakan here.
I mean, the Aphelios would be the more obvious one to go back towards. I think it's just been a stellar matchup into the Jinx for quite a while. We only have 1 game for Sayo over the course of spring, though. It was a win with a 23 KTA from that game, so went pretty well, but not something that we see a huge amount from. And with the Thresh and the Tahm Kench banned away, it looks like Lulu is going to be the answer here for On, just to give a ton of opportunities for Elk in those later game fights.
Yeah, I will say for Sayo, like, when you're against a Nidalee and a Renekton that have to walk at you, Aphelios is certainly the pick that you want. That kind of situation. Jace locked in, though, as the final pickup for BLG. If you didn't think Nidalee had enough poke already, that Jace is certainly going to round that out.
You can even get a rapid fire to Jinx and just go like, hey, we're over across the other side of the map, but we're still getting a couple of pop shots at you. This is BLG just trying to play a range. The thing is, though, they don't have a huge amount of engage here to try and like push forward their advantages or even set up for a lot of this long range damage. So this is definitely a case of, okay, well, we have pushing mid, we have pushing bot, we have even a good amount of control on the top side. Let's see how much damage we can work with Shun to control that jungle on the opposite side, and then lean that into the tower control as well.
Yeah, I'm curious about this R7 composition now that we've got an ASOL locked in the mid lane, the first of the tournament here. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure on Oddie to be the early game here. With an Aphelios in the bottom lane, with an ASOL in the mid lane, there's a lot of scaling on this side, but not that much presence early on.
Yeah, Oddie has to basically find ways to deal with the pressure that BLG are going to want to put down. If you get to the late game, R7 just have so much damage that can come through. They have some decent engage with the Rakan, but Rakan generally wants to be kind of a secondary engage tool, not your primary engage tool. So it feels like a lot of this is going to be a case of, can we land the cocoon for the Rakan to follow up? Can we get the Rakan flank? Can we find a K'Sante flank in that later portion of the game? It's just a case of trying to weather the storm in the early stages, because with the amount of lane priorities that BLG have, there's going to be a ton of pressure going everywhere in the map.
I mean, we saw it in game number 1 with a pretty different draft. You still expect that same pressure from BLG. And I'm looking towards Yagao in that mid lane on Jace as well. I feel like Jace mid was a massive power pick in LPL. We saw it banned a ton. Yagao certainly a mechanically gifted mid laner that can make things happen on that pick. The pressure, the push that you can have against, I would say, most matchups, honestly, with Jace. He's going to be able to get out onto the map just like we saw in game number 1, but this time he's got damage.
Loaded onto the Rift for game number 2 here, BLG versus R7.
I don't know if you heard that, but we've got BLG Gyos going on here in London. The BLG fans coming out in force today to celebrate their team. And don't forget as well, if you are watching at home, to get involved with your Prime Gaming. Grab yourself that Gotham emote. It's all going on in the chat. But I'm looking towards R7 here, Rob. I want to see a miracle. I want to see them defy expectations, if you will.
I'm looking to see if they can try and get to that later game scaling. You've already got the Aphelios there. You've got this massive Aurelion Sol in the mid lane. And it's been a while since we've seen Aurelion Sol at the international stage. This is the first Aurelion Sol mid lane at an international event since MSI 2018. So we have to see if Miro can try and pick up a win for the first time. It is a tough one, though, as BLG already trying to put the pressure down here.
Shun going to be seen. Yagao going to be seen. Sayo gets caught by the spear. Shun already starting as he means to go on. Just hammering away. Sayo sidesteps the spear, sidesteps the shock blast, but forced to flash away. It's a big moment for BLG, starting as they mean to go on.
Leave Sayo alone. What has he done to BLG? Every single game, he's just been the focus of BLG's attention the entire way through, already getting a flash from this Aphelios and putting a lot of pressure to Oddie as well.
You're saying, what has he done? But this is Shun's jungle. For anyone that's not watched Shun play League of Legends before, both jungles are his jungle. Oddie has no right to be here near Shun's second Gromp. And speaking of, Shun's actually going to go for the 1v1, but it ain't a 1v1! And Oddie says, no! That's my Gromp!
He storms the castle and takes it back. Oddie getting the kill on the board for himself. And now, even Yagao feeling a bit of hurt here.
Can this keep on going? Miru, good little trade. Can he look for more? Yagao walks out of range off the damage, looking for a bit of a trade back himself. Flash is available on both sides, but Miru bringing that power from the LLA that we've all heard about.
And I love the fact that Miru is going to this aggressive here. That Oddie had already pushed Shun out, so he knows he can try and play up. Doesn't have to worry about the Nidalee coming in anytime soon. And now you're getting that control in mid that you need. Having that help for Oddie means that he's going to be in a good spot now and can actually start to go against some of these invades if Shun tries to make anything happen with the XP advantage he has. Even the quick reset for the Amplifying Tome to give him a bit more damage in those 1v1 trades.
Yagao already forced out of lane. This is already a much different performance to what we saw in game number 1. R7 showing up and showing us what they are made of. Miru has been a shining light for them in the mid lane all year long. Now now doing it on the international stage as Oddie moves up to punish Bin for overstepping, forces the flash out, red buff in play as Bin tries to go for the all-in, but he's all out of plays on this one, and Oddie finds his second of the game.
And the LLA is still alive in this one. R7 coming out swinging in this early game. Great play onto the top side. Oddie again getting involved. We said, hey, look, if you can get this game under control in the early stages for R7, Aurelion Sol and Phelios in the late game is nothing to sniff at. So Yagao gonna feel the hurt once more. Miru.
Oh, Yagao could be in trouble here. Actually does the old switcheroo, swap sides in the mid lane, but Miru ain't done just yet. Procs another Comet, getting that damage down, dodges the shock blast, and just making it look easy, has to be said.
He's been doing a fantastic job. He ends up opting in towards the biscuits in the early stages, so he knows, hey, look, especially with the greedier start from Yagao going for the refillable potion, not the 3 pots, I have more health, I have more revitalization here. I can go for these aggressive trades, come out on top because I have more of the tank, and now the bot lane.
Seo wants a bit of revenge for what's happened in the previous game, but he doesn't know that Shun's behind him. It's a great spear onto Lions. Oddie, nowhere near. Oddie's currently in the top lane tri-brush. He's trying to make a play on the opposite side of the map as the wave finally crashes, but Shun's already done it. Who needs to dive when you can kill him before the minions even arrive? The polymorph denies everything as Elk grabs himself a kill. In the meantime, Bin goes down for the counterplay of R7.
And that's the second time now Oddie's got up to that top side. Finally giving Bong a little bit of help, and it's coming out dividends for it. 2 kills on the top end for 1 in the bot. Some plates for BLG as well. At least BLG gets something back, but R7 is still playing the cross map well.
And once again, look at the CS difference in that bottom side. It is 40 to 18, with Elk starting cult as well. But Oddie, he ain't done with this early game just yet. Yagao, I think, knows he's in trouble. Can he escape is the question. Oni, flash available, but not going to pull the trigger. Yagao really struggling here.
Definitely is, and the fact that he managed to get away there is just because you saw the resets coming through on bot, and he wasn't sure where they are, but Miru holding this wave at arm's length from Yagao, just making sure he's falling further and further behind. We thought this Jace would get a lot more control here, but Miru, we talked about how important he has been for R7. He's stepping up again. Miru has been incredible when it comes towards his stats. Second in KDA over in LLA. Massive amount of kill participation for the squad as well. We'll have to see if he can put on that performance now with the Aurelion Sol again.
It's looking good so far. Hits level 6 and looks for an all-in onto Yagao. Knocked back with the Comet.
Oh, we got
falls out of the sky, pulls him in, and forces the flash. Miru wants solo kills. Shun could be in trouble as he's going toe-to-toe. Spider versus Cougar. Who wins it out? It's the Spiders so far. Shun dives back in to find his solo kill. As On actually denies the solo kill, gets an assist for himself there. Miru, though, can't bully when there's 3 people in his lane.
Still going to put a lot of damage on towards On here. As you can see that start this spike up. Going to be able to back away, can collect this wave. There's a nice kill going across, but now Elk in trouble.
Elk in a 2v1 and still trying to go for it. The Flame Choppers mean it's a 1v1 and a zap as well. Lions getting punished so heavily by Elk.
Trying to trade effectively onto Elk because he knows that Oddie's in the vicinity, just making his way down into this bottom side. Oddie knows there's a ward in that brush, so doesn't want to show himself as Seo steps up.
And On actually winning out the trades against the Amelos. Elk flashes over the knock-up, finds his rocket, the zap on the wrong target. Seo on a breath of health barely walks away, and you just know Elk is walking up to this tower. The enemy ADC's gone, and this is a buffet to Elk. He's going to take as many plates as he wants.
Shun, can he get the spear? Doesn't know that they're still in the bush. Doesn't know he's walked over a vision as well, so Shun does need to be careful here.
Shun plays the ward. Hasn't seen them, but now he has the spear, finds his mark. And once again, I feel like BLG just having the read on how to play around this bottom side.
I mean, BLG now a 2,000 gold lead for themselves, just off the fact that they've a ton of control of this bot lane. Again, a 30 CS lead opening up down to that bot end. And now Bong going up against Bin.
And Bin actually perhaps looking for an all-in at this point. Gets the Conqueror proc, but doesn't go for his Dominus for the time being. Bong actually a level up. This would be dangerous for Bin, honestly.
Oh, can he get the flick back under the tower? That could be a disaster. For the Renekton, Bong not quite able to get it. You see that Shun was starting to hover up towards that top side, but I think Bin just wants to make sure he can crash this wave and then reset. Even opting in for the Cull here on the Renekton kind of says the state of this top side matchup at the moment.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That, I mean, even a player like Bin on a champion like Renekton, he's going Cull, you know it's going to be a fairly passive lane, a fairly slow lane up there. I want to kind of takes stock. I'm not going to have a chance because Yagao getting pulled back, knocked up, and burned down. Miru brings A-Soul, the new version, for the first time ever at an international, and he shows up huge. Shun next as the target, but he will walk away with his life.
Oh wait, Elk, go for Seo.
Now a dive at the bottom beside Seo. He's got a bit of damage himself. Elk gets out of tower range only just. And it's just going to be more plates. It's more cyberbullying in the bottom lane.
I mean, it was very close to being the turnaround for Sale, but the polymorph means that he can get no damage off whatsoever. This game has turned into just throwing haymakers back and forth. Now, Lion's going to move back into the spot side. Won't be able to get a kill, but might be able to dissuade Elkin on from pushing too far underneath this turret.
That's the fourth plate. Elk trying every different cuisine at this buffet at this point. But I want to go back to what you're saying. Haymakers being thrown on both sides, but it's crucially R7 throwing haymakers in the mid lane and putting Yagao behind, whereas for BLG, it's all about getting Elk ahead and putting Seo behind.
And that's the thing, and Aurelion Sol is not supposed to be this far ahead. He's like, hey, I will passively play the lane. I will get to the later portion of the game, and Mira's kind of gone, screw that. I know this matchup, but I'm going to absolutely slaughter Yagao. Looking great in this mid lane, and will need to step up as the big carry as you start to move over towards the Rift Herald. You can see Oddie's there, but BLG are in position.
Oddie taking a bit of a chunk there as Shun does finish the Herald off. Bin flashing over the wall to look for Oddie. He's got a 2-level advantage. The Cocoon buys a little bit of time for Oddie, but can he survive? The Dominus in play, but he gets a bit of healing. The Rocket just shy, and now an opportunity for Bong instead. It's a kill for Lions as Bong flashes over to Shun. Dodges away from the knockup, now trying to position as Yagao re-enters the play. Bong over the wall, and it's 10 Stagda. But it's BLG getting away with it again, trading blows.
Yeah, the all-out pop by Bong means he's able to use that E to get back over the wall, so just about him to escape away before the rest of BLG show up, but still, again, R7 in position to try and fight back on this top side, and Seo now trying to go against Elk in the bot lane, but I think that's where the difference maker is going to be here for BLG, how big this Jinx is going to be in comparison to the Aphelios.
You know, and we've been talking all this time about defying expectations,
Oh
right?
my
Well,
God.
Miru's doing it in the mid lane again. Yagao walks away with his life. Shun trying to save the day as Yagao goes back in. The wild growth saves the day, and Miru bites off more than he can chew.
He had the flash, but there was nowhere safe anymore. Even having the ultimate coming through from on to keep Yagao alive. BLG, they control the spot side river, and unfortunately Miru just walks that bit too far in.
And Yagao has been behind all game, but with Miru going down, that's going to be 3 plates in the mid lane. We've been talking about that buffet. Well, Yagao's eating good tonight, that's for sure.
I respect the play from Miru though. Like, this is a point where you're like, I know I have to step up to be the carry. I know I have to be the one that makes the plays so we can try and take this game. And that's why he's trying to go for this. If the jungler isn't there, if the bot lane isn't there, he could have got the kill, but just unfortunate enough that he's not quite able to do so. And now, R7, again, pushed underneath their bot lane turret. No help is coming. This turret isn't going to be long for the world. All in though.
They don't want any help, they want the 2v2 themselves. Red and white means let's fight! But unfortunately, it doesn't work out. Elk doesn't care what color your weapons are. His is pink.
Red, white, and it's good night for the bot lane of R7. BLG managing to get the kill, and now actually looking towards the mid lane as well. Shun hovering around, Miru, he's in trouble.
Yeah, the spear lands, Yagao going in. Look at the burst from this combo from BLG. It doesn't matter how the early game went. Yagao back in the picture now with a serrated Dirk. Bin, in the meantime, just trying to buy space and time for his team as Oddie moves up.
This is going to be a lot of back and forth. Bin just going to step away, back underneath his own turret, neutral flick back and the all-out. Could have been a disaster for him, but BLG, off that play, will still get the tower mid as Oddie looking towards top.
I think Bin's in all kinds of trouble right now. The Dominus is just timed out. Oddie misses the stun though. Bin, take it down anyway. Bong happy to tank up. In fact, Oddie tanking the tower for the time being. But Lion's moving over as well, just to be safe. It's a good pick for R7. But Dagda, I feel we need to take stock of the situation right now, because Shun in the meantime is doing that Drake. The tower went down in the mid lane. And while in terms of kills it's even, look at that gold difference.
Yeah, and a lot of that is down to, okay, well we got all the plates in mid, we got all the plates in that bot side. A massive 4 kills for this Jinx, plus the CS difference. And control is still going here, Seo!
Forced to flash by Yagao. Yagao's happy with this if he can just walk away with his life. Grabbed him in play, but no real follow-up available as Shun in a bit of a 1v1 against Miru. Has that empowered ultimate available. I don't think he'll find his moment just yet.
Instead, Elk, he's going to try and find his moment with this tower on the top side. Going to be able to take this tower incredibly quickly with the fact he already has that Gale Force working up towards the rapid fire cannon as well. Plus having Lulu in your back pocket is going to be so nice here as well.
Are they going to finish
Yeah,
this?
it looks like R7 are just going, right, we can't really be in a position to match this. We're just going to leave it.
Doctor, we're witnessing a 15-plate game if BLG finish this tower in the next 25 seconds, which, I mean, they easily should. Clearing that wave away. It's tanky. They've got 20 seconds to do it, though, and you just know they will. 15 plates taken from BLG. They put the buffet out of business.
Yeah, Elk is eating real good today. The fact that he's managed to, look at the gold lead there. 7.6 thousand gold on this Jinx at the 14-minute mark. He's already going to go back, get his second item completed at this stage. It's going to be the rapid fire cannon. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The long range poke that is coming through onto BLG. It's going to be so difficult to deal with, especially as we start to look towards things like that dragon in a little bit. Also towards the second Rift Child that's going to be spawned in just a minute's time.
It's a 2,000 gold difference in plates alone in this game. That is absurd. BLG certainly know how to make things happen. Has been tries to get a bit of action for himself. He's 0-4 so far this game, and he wants to find himself a kill. He wants to find himself some participation, but Miru will escape with his life. As you can see, Elk has been snowballed, to say the least, in our MasterCard gold difference.
And even the fact that Miru just couldn't keep that gold lead in mid is kind of heartbreaking, because it did feel like this Aurelion Sol was the pick to look at, see if he can get to that late game and be that big carry. But at the moment, just with how much BLG have accelerated this game, doesn't feel like it's going to happen. Even the fact that you have Lions step behind here makes it very tough for him to try and be that primary engage tool. And even getting enough vision control down to try and find the flank that's necessary for Bong, for Lions, is there. Oh my god! Pretty close!
That was half of his HP off of a spear from Shun. I saw the rocket missing. The spear was hidden underneath it. Finds his mark anyway. Shun, I mean, we knew he was going to do well on the Nidalee. This is his signature, but I mean, this is something else.
Yeah, super distraction death rocket in that one. It worked out real well for Elk. And now Shun setting near Miru, trying to get a little bit of damage, but Shun just able to hop away from that one. BLG are controlling this game. It was a little bit messy from the start, but they are put their foot down once more.
And Tagta, I don't want to be that guy, but I remember an interview
You're going
recently.
to be that guy.
I am going to be that guy. I am that guy, let's be honest. Bin said in an interview, last time I got carried, this time I'm the carry. I've got to carry my teammates.
Yeah.
Game number 1, he was not the carry. Game number 2, he's 0-4-0, while Elk is dominating, Shun is dominating.
I love how we built this up being like, remember his G2 gangplank play, here it is. Remember his pentakill, here it is. And then he's now 0-4 with a cull that's just popped.
And he's my Renekton Nidalee.
Yeah. But now here goes Yago, forced to flash, as Audi was waiting for the wings. Even having lines coming up here, but that will give BLG a little bit of an opportunity to try and get this push in mid and keep that threat up, even establish vision on the top side, and maybe match the play on top if R7 stick around too long.
Yeah, I got trying to keep the wave away from the tower so that no dive can come on through. We'll be able to clear that one up. There's R7 now, you can see, still trying to be proactive. Yagao knows what's going on here. They're trying to find these picks before objectives, because realistically, that has to be their way back in now.
Yeah, they need to find something. And again, like, if you can get this Ace-All to like a couple of more levels, you can see level 11 hit, a couple of items under his belt, maybe there's an opportunity, but he's just struggling so much. They're like feeding him as much minions as they can in the side lanes, which is why he's been left in the 1v1 versus Bin, but it's just not really giving them enough time or space to buy when BLG own the siege potential with how long range they are.
Oh, Bong's in trouble here. Shun getting his combo off the Wild Growth to find the knockup. All out, pulls Bong out away from the team, and still goes down anyway. Is Oddie now getting chased down by Elk? The Gale Force there, repel. Doesn't quite get him to safety as this rocket will connect, but a comet from the sky to turn it around for Miru. Sayo alongside his mid laner. They're trying to survive, but Bin wants redemption, gets his stun, and Shun there to finish the job surely. This spear lands, and Bin gets himself onto the scoreboard as Elk wants a little more. These spears are absurd, and Shun knows it's his debut, knows he wants to show up.
It's hunting season for Elk, and he's managed to catch himself a dragon. BLG now with Rift Child in tow, they want to end the game.
And they might just do it. I mean, G2 finished the game yesterday in 20 minutes. It's 18 on the clock. BLG certainly have the gold difference to do it, but not going to force the issue right now. Only one Drake taken so far, Dagda. Despite the massive bot lead that BLG had, it's just not been a focus.
Yeah, I'd like to say, you know, this is an opportunity for R7 to like slow down the pace of the game, find an opportunity to like get the gold that they need onto the ASOL, onto the Aphelios, and scale into late game, but it's kind of doomed. 11,000 gold, your base is already cracked open, and there's not even the one inkling that you had, which was that Bin was behind, is even now starting to kind of dwindle with just the fact he's managed to pick up so much wayward gold from being in the side lane, even just catching a kill for himself in that last fight.
On trying to fight for a bit of vision control. He is totally on his own here. But let's take another look as they get the pick onto Bong. And I mean, this is just chase down. It's just chase down C.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nice here where you think, okay, would have been a great oh, hang on.
Miru's found Yagao, or has he? Maybe he's been found by Yagao. You know, the early laning phase looked good, but at this point, he's got a couple of items. Yagao is firing on all cylinders.
And we've all been there. You win your lane, and then that guy comes back and kills you later like, screw this, I'm done. And Vong, he might be done for as well.
He might just be. Shun has the damage. He is a big old Nidalee at this point. The all-out not going to be enough here as the dash away from Shun. A bit more long-range follow-up is there. The stun from Bin to set up for Shun to go legendary. And a legendary debut performance from Shun. His first ever finals in the LPL this year. His first ever international tournament. And it might be his first ever international win if they can keep it up. A good little knock-up though. A pick found. And perhaps more for R7. Moonlight Vigil wide as Mirror charges out onto Elk, but Elk is charging back! The damage fires through the reset, and Elk takes them down.
The confidence from Elk and the follow-up from Shun. He wants to make sure that R7 go right the way back to the base. Now 2 inhibitors down as the 20-minute mark is crested, and they're looking to go for next turn.
I don't know exactly what time G2 finished yesterday, but it's going to be a close front thing. But BLG back away, and I think G2 will keep their record for now.
Hey, look, it's BLG, right? They want to try and take it as much in their stride as possible. Going to just back away from this. They're looking to see if they can start to move over towards that Baron, but once they get that, what do? There's 2 towers outside of your base still remaining on that top side of the map, and BLG aren't even going to reset. They said, look, we have enough gold as stands, let's just go to it.
Well, I think we might have a moment here, Dagda, to breathe before BLG try and finish things off once again. Odi moving over though, perhaps could find an opportunity for a steal onto this Baron. 4K on the health bar, and I don't think the DPS is stopping. They're challenging Odi. They're saying, come on into the pit. We welcome you. And he takes it anyway. Odi finds his moment, takes the Baron away.
The silver lining there, as it means that R7 might be able to try and defend the top tower a little bit easier. You look at mid and you look at bot, it's not looking so hot.
A glorious moment for all League of Legends fans here, as even when you're this far ahead, you should never 50-50 Baron. This is your lesson right here in black and white.
Hey, I mean, look, Odi on one, Elise and Baron steals, it's already been written, and we get to see it again here at MSI. Really nice steal, just an early spike coming through for Shun, and Odi just about able to steal it away.
I mean, great stuff there from Odi. And bit of a grin on his face. And rightly so, as Bong looking for an all-out in the top side. Yagao the target. And so close to Miraculous. That's in a 2v1.
Still no, you got push and mid coming through for Elk. Opportunity on the top side here for BLG to crack open these top lane structures. Again, yes, you got the Baron buff for R7, but if you got no minions, it's not really going to help you out too much. And Elk and the range that the rest of this BLG roster offer makes it very difficult to try and defend this base.
And I respect the pace at which BLG are playing this, because domestically I feel like they would have just thrown themselves at Nexus Towers by this point and tried to brute force the end, risked it. But they're here on the international stage. It's the first time the organization has ever made it to an international, and they are taking this seriously. They're playing it by the book. They're looking for all 3 inhibs to finish the game.
They don't even need to worry about trying to like get someone in towards mid lane. They already have the super creeps there that's pushing in. Bot lane, you've got 2 super creeps that are going to be hitting in just a few seconds time as well. So BLG just continue to put all this pressure on the top side. Dragon is up in 30 seconds, but I really don't think BLG are going to worry about that one too much, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to see that R7 are actually up 300 gold in their Red Bull Baron power play so far, managing to, that Baron alone, kind of mitigating some of the lead. Sayo in trouble, and the rocket threads the needle. Elk looking for more. Double as he charges into the base. The tower's down, and Elk sees his moment to comment from the skies. Triple in. Yagao to set it up. Elk makes it to the international stage for the first time ever, and is denied.
The setup was there, and Shun says, not a hope, boy. This is our first game as well, but we'll take the series anyway.
Shun says, I was carrying this one, as he takes the 5th kill on the Nexus. And a 2-0 domination from BLG. A phenomenal win for them, a confident win for them.
But after the Pentasteal, Shun, I mean, BLG's mental up Dire Straits, it's gone. It's absolutely shambles. I think it's going to be, but seriously though, like, this was an incredible performance from BLG. A lot of what we expected from the LPL second seed coming into this, like, they were so strong in playoffs, and we're seeing it once more.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff from BLG. Looking cool, calm and collected as they walk away with their first win of the tournament, a clean 2-0. And I think the most impressive thing to me from what we've seen today from BLG is those early games, the lane domination. Like, that's not necessarily what BLG were known for domestically in the LPL, was just winning lanes and dominating. But when Shun gets the Nidalee and you can play through winning lanes, I mean, it's beautiful. At
least it helps that Yagao will still not be known for really winning lanes and kind of putting that one forward. That was not the best of Chase performances, it has to be said, but look, in the grand scheme of things, they were still able to make it work. Really great play from Miro, and again, I think this is something that we're going to be looking to see how he performs then in the next one, or in the losers brackets down. We'll have to see who they face up against, because we do have Golden Guardians versus Scam still to play later on. So the winner will go up against BLG, the loser will face off against R7, and I think again, looking towards that mid lane, even Audi on the Elise, trying to see if they can get their hands on them again, and try and bring what worked from the early game again to that stage.
Yeah, I definitely want to see this Elise again from Audi. I'd love to see the ASOL again. I've never seen an early game ASOL before, but I mean, Miru was looking phenomenal in the early game during that laning phase, bullying Yagao, forcing him out of lane, and like you say, Audi everywhere on the map. But it felt like BLG had like the macro read of how to play around that. If the Elise is camping top lane, okay, well, we're going to just play around the bottom side instead. Snowball Elk and just go from there.
Yeah, I think that was the hardest part. I mean, you're going up against Elk and On, who have been in the LPL to an incredibly high, well, I was going to say damage, and you can see there, but incredibly aggressive bot laners to try and go up against, and unfortunately just for Sayon Lines, they couldn't quite stand up. The Jinx having that range advantage, continuously getting these turrets. We said Elk was eating good, and you can see the results on that chart.
Yeah, I mean, 15 plays taken in our AWS post game here. And stick around, because in a couple of minutes time, we are going to have Yinsu on the stage to have a little chat with Gigabin himself, which I will say, over this series,